What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Countdown Scouting Network. I'm your host, Joey Garcia, and today we are getting into the recap of Week 4 college football. We're going to talk about some prospects, and we're going to talk about kind of some risers and fallers with these teams after these games. We had a lot of good games on this slate, even some unranked matchups that look pretty good too. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start out, I guess, with Florida, just because they're the first team on my list up here. We'll go through the top 25, and then we will just go over, highlight some other games that were going on around the league. So with this Florida matchup, coming up from a huge win against Tennessee at the Swamp, becoming a ranked team, taking on Charlotte. They started out pretty good on offense, just kind of moving the ball down the field with really no issue. I think the first drive ended in a touchdown. Second drive, driving down the field, kind of stall out a little bit, have to take a field goal. And defense didn't have a real issue against Charlotte. Offense, you'll probably seen it on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. That Ricky Pearsall one-handed catch, which is this catch right here. It was an insane catch. Made a crazy acrobatic catch and then immediately got hit by two defenders. And that was just fantastic. After that, their offense kind of stalled out. I do not like this offense. Montrell Johnson, I think, had a better game today, but he's still not having a great game. Trevor Etienne, he's not draft eligible, so he won't be coming out this year. But Montrell Johnson has a chance to come out this year, but he just hasn't been playing too well. So next week they have Kentucky, I believe. So this is why I didn't have them in my top 25. I don't think they're good enough right now. I think they're close. They're a top 35 team. I don't have them in my top 25, though. Let's go to the number one ranked team in the nation. We got Georgia. And this was kind of the Georgia I wanted to see. UAB is a very talented team. Don't let that 1-3 record fool you. They've played some tough opponents. They have a really good running game. Georgia started out strong, moved the ball down the field, got a rushing touchdown. Then Carson Beck is starting to come into his own. He's starting to become what I wanted him to be, which is a distributor. It seemed like early on he kind of wanted to make a bunch of flashy plays. Just be a distributor. You got a bunch of guys around you. And he started doing that, getting the ball to Brock Bowers on a couple plays. And Brock Bowers had, I think, a 44-yarder and a 41-yarder, if I'm not mistaken. But that offense just was cruising. Dejon Edwards played well, and the limited touches that he ended up getting looked dominant. Defensively, they're a good Georgia defense. Other than a couple defensive backs, I don't know about any draft eligible linemen unless I'm mistaken. But all in all, that defense still looks really good. Again, they let 21 points up against UAB. One of the touchdowns was a garbage time touchdown. The other two were just good drives. Again, this is a talented UAB team. All right, going to Michigan. They played a good Rutgers team. This is a very good Rutgers team. But still, as Michigan, number 2 ranked, you guys come out so slow. The defense comes out slow. The offense comes out slow. And, Blake Corum had another fantastic game. Donovan Edwards is not going to come out this year. He's going to have to stay for another year because I don't know what's happening with him. He's being bottled up in the backfield. He's not doing as well receiving the ball and getting out in space like I thought he would. And again, this offense is just kind of it starts so slow every single week, and I'm not really sure what it is, but it's going to bite them one of these days when they play in Ohio State or someone like that. That it's going to get rough because they're going to get down to a 14-0 deficit really, really quickly if they keep playing like this. Next, we've got Texas. Texas played a very, very good Baylor team. Again, these are sneaky good teams that they're playing, even though they're not ranked. This is a very good Baylor team, very physical, defensive Baylor team who's just had a tough schedule. That's why they're 1-3. One, they lost their starting quarterback for the year, and then it's a tough schedule. But Quinn Ewers, efficient passing the ball. That's what you need is efficiency. Every once in a while, a little bit of flashiness. He's not doing as much flashy, risky passing that we saw from him last year, and that's good. I need him a little bit more controlled. Every once in a while, make a play, but right now we just kind of need you in control, and that's what it looked like. Jatavion Sanders, I am 100% going to admit I think I was wrong on him. I thought he was just kind of a standard, you know, standard within 10 yards, get him the ball, and he might make one guy miss just because he's hard to bring down, and that's it. He makes some moves out there. He's faster than I thought he was. He's running better routes than I thought he was, and he's just more athletic all around than I really thought he was. So I was wrong in the summer scouting of Jatavion Sanders, the tight end from Texas, and I'm happy to be wrong about that. Good for him. He's definitely going to be moving up my board. Next, we've got Florida State Clemson. This is a good Clemson team. This team, it's a top 25 team in my opinion. Yes, they just lost 2 games. You lost to Florida State and Duke, Duke is a very good team, and that was in week 1. So Florida State, again, they're starting out a little slow because Jordan Travis is injured. His hands messed up, his shoulders messed up. But the defense played fairly well. Couldn't really stop the running game in the first half. Kind of got there in the second half. But Keon Coleman made some plays. Johnny Wilson, gotta love Johnny Wilson's hands. Those hands are solid. They are, they're huge, and it's like they got glue all over them. He made a fantastic catch down the sideline that any other receiver it was thrown to does not make the catch because it's just out of reach. Again, Johnny Wilson is 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan, huge hands, barely stretches out and catches the ball. But any other receiver, full stride like that, is not catching that ball. I really do believe that. Cade Klubnik played fine. He didn't have a great game. Played fine. Will Shipley? Clemson's running back, not Maffa, the other guy. I'm blanking on his name right now. I feel like it's Will Shipley. He was okay. He wasn't anything special. He made a few good plays. I will say that. He made a few good plays. Maffa was very consistent like he always is. But then finally, Jeremiah Trotter finally showed up and did something in this game. Huge plays in the backfield. There was another time where really Trey Benson was gone. He was going to hit the corner and be gone. Trotter exploded onto the sideline and tackled him for only like a 4 or 5 yard gain when it should have been a touchdown. It should have been 40-yard touchdown. He's flying around. Andrew Makuba is playing pretty well. Nate Wiggins, who I hope he's okay. He went out with an injury. I don't know what the injury was. I hope he's okay and he comes back because he was very impressive playing down in the nickel, playing up top as well. Let's go to USC, Arizona State. Again, this I don't think this is a good Arizona State team if I'm 100% honest with you. And putting up 28 points is just crazy. USC's offense is not an issue though. They keep doing their thing. Is Williams going to win the Heisman back-to-back? That's kind of what we got to decide. Caleb Williams keeps playing like this. Very efficient, very explosive. It's fun football to watch. Marshawn Lloyd, bigger running back, just pounding on Arizona State throughout this game. So, I watched the first half of this game, and it's just it was just, yep, this is USC. I don't see them losing because no one can stop that offense. So, good for them. Again, Caleb Williams is the number 1 overall pick. By far. I don't know. People talk about he might not declare if it's probably the Cardinals is who they're talking about. But what if it is the Chicago Bears? He goes to Chicago. I would hope not for him. Sorry, Chicago fans, but they got a lot of stuff that they need to fix. So, but with that being said, Caleb Williams is the number 1 overall pick right now, bar none. I don't see how he can come back to school. All right, I was thinking about saving this one for later, but I will do it now, just because it's popping up right now. But gosh darn, man, this game reminded me of prime watching football back in the day. Like this reminded me of when I was in sixth, seventh grade, and I'd stay up late to watch the national championship game, and my dad would let me skip the first half of school that next day, because this game was two heavyweights. These are two top 10 teams, if not top 5 teams, in my opinion. But I will say, Ohio State, not a physical team, in my opinion. They proved it. They proved me wrong in this game, because this is a very physical Notre Dame team. Ohio State's defensive line is elite, but Notre Dame was keeping them in check. It was physical all around, but Notre Dame with Joe Alt and Blake Fisher, the two tackles that we highlighted in the summer scouting, versus, let's see if I can try to name all of them. Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimpaulau. I know I said his name wrong. Michael Hall. You got Talik Williams. Then at linebacker, Eichenberg. I mean, dude, there were so many guys in this front seven for Ohio State, and Notre Dame kept them in check and were able to run the ball a little bit on them. That's very impressive. Yes, Estime is a good running back, but still, to be able to run on that defensive line is a feat. I feel like Notre Dame played the game scared, though. They played the game like they didn't want to make a mistake. Ohio State just kind of played it where they were just checking it down, and that's what Kyle McCord needs to do. But Notre Dame just seemed like they were playing it safe. And then at the end, just blundering. I don't even want to get into it with the ending, only having 10 guys on the field. Didn't want to rush a defensive tackle on because they didn't want to get a penalty. But, like, you're on the 1-yard line. If you get a penalty for having too many guys on the field, they move it up to the half-yard line. They ran it straight to that side. It's a shame. I still think this is a really good team. Again, you got Sam Hartman, and I felt like everything was just, let's play it safe, when eventually you got to take risks when you're going up against Ohio State, in my opinion. So Ohio State proved me wrong. They are better than I thought they were. Again, I don't trust Kyle McCord, their quarterback, but I don't trust him to win you a game. But whenever he just has to be a game manager like this, I mean, this is the game I kind of was hoping to see from him in this situation. Should he have thrown a touchdown pass? Again, only 2 touchdowns scored. One of them was a Trey Henderson, like, 50-yard run. Man, yeah, this was a very, very fun game to watch. Some people might call it boring. I loved this game. 2 heavyweight fighters going blow for blow. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. got injured in it. First off, he wasn't getting targeted very much because I don't remember who they said was guarding him, but the guy was doing a pretty decent job of it. Yeah, they let them go with a little bit of holding and defensive PI, but I love that. Let them play. Let these boys play out there. Towards the end of the game, Marvin Harrison Jr. finally got some involvement. Igbuka was just a third down machine. Anytime it was third and long, of course they're going to throw it to Igbuka. He played really well. And that's all I got to say about that one. So let's go to the next game. We got Iowa Penn State. This game was going on at the same time as Ohio State Notre Dame. What kind of stupid scheduling is this? What kind of stupid? I wanted to watch Penn State Iowa. I had a couple TVs going at the same time, and I still couldn't put on the Penn State Iowa game because I had too many other games I was trying to watch. And I wanted to watch this game, but as soon as it freaking, oh man. But yeah, so I got to watch a little bit of it with the highlights and everything like that. Penn State ran the ball all over Iowa. I think Iowa's offensive coordinator is going to get fired. If you don't know, they were supposed to, I don't know if they have to win a specific amount of games, but they have to average 25 points throughout the regular season. And they were averaging 28 points going into this game just because they had one 41-point outing last week against Western Michigan. They had, I think, a 24-point game, a 21-point game, a 41-point game, and then now a 0-point game. So I think they're averaging like 22, I want to say. 20 maybe. They're averaging 20 points now a game. So that's rough. It only gets harder from here too. So hoping for the best for that Iowa offensive coordinator. Why would they put the number at 25 for his contract though? I feel like Iowa usually puts up, I don't know, averages 15 points a game, 13 points a game. Why not put the number at 18? 19 points. I don't 25 is a lot for an Iowa team, I feel like. I don't know. Whatever. That's okay. Going to Washington, California, Michael Penix Jr. Um, he's the guy. That's it. That's all I got to say about this one. The Washington defense is a little suspect for letting up 32 points to Cal. I don't think this is a good Cal team at all. Next game, this one was rough to watch in person. Oregon versus Colorado. I took Oregon minus 21.5 points. So it was good for me, but I didn't think it was going to be this dominating. I thought it was going to be Oregon by a healthy 21.5 points. I didn't think it was going to be 35 to nothing at halftime. So, again, we didn't expect a lot of people putting a bunch on Colorado saying that they're going to do this, they're going to do that. No, this is a Colorado team that has zero depth, has zero offensive line, and doesn't have much defensive line either. Oregon just, I mean, it was just slants, drag routes, run the ball up the middle, flood one side. Like they were just running simplistic offense. That's it. They were running simplistic offense, and the defense was getting to the quarterback. I feel bad for Shedeur Sanders. There was no offensive line today, or not today, Saturday. Uh, but again, that was a very good butt whooping by Oregon. Bo Nix, Bruce Irving, Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin made some incredible catches in this game too. I love Troy Franklin. I think he's going to be a stud. Going to the next game, we got Utah UCLA, and on the first play of the game, true freshman Dante Moore tries to throw a slant route, doesn't see the defensive end dropping into coverage. He picks it off and runs it back for a pick six. First play of the game. So you start down 7-0. Really couldn't get anything going. This was a very good defensive battle. Nate Johnson, the starter for Utah at quarterback, didn't really get much going either. They shut him down in the run game as well. Glover's the only one that really could run the ball today. Yeah, that's it. Carson Steele didn't do as much as I was hoping he'd do for UCLA as well. So 14-7, that's an interesting one. LSU versus Arkansas. I thought Arkansas was going to come in here and shock the world, I guess, and they almost did. They really almost did. I didn't get to watch this game. I was flipping back and forth between some games, and after the first quarter, I stopped watching this game so I could watch some other games. And I looked in the fourth quarter. I was like, oh my god, hey, we gotta come back and watch this. And all that to say, I really only got to watch the highlights of this game, and that's it. Malik Neighbors is good. They had to like triple cover him all night. Um, Rocket Sanders didn't play. I don't know what's going on with him. And Jaden Daniels is Jalen Daniels? Jaden Daniels is okay. He's okay. That's it. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I really don't. I think he's got the tools. I just don't think he has the decision making. I don't think he can read a defense. I think it is another Malik Willis situation. That's what I think on that one. Ole Miss, Alabama. Alabama's good, guys. They're not great. They're good. That's all they are. Ole Miss doesn't have the guys to run with Alabama still. This was a good old-fashioned Alabama run the ball, good defense. That's it. I don't have anyone really to shout out in this game. Jace McClellan, we keep saying that he's like a solid RB3, RB4 in the NFL. He had a good game this game, but it's against Ole Miss, who doesn't really have any defensive linemen. So good for him. I'm glad he finally had a good game. Let's hope that it goes on to next week as well. Let's talk about Oregon State, Washington State, and my man Cam Ward. Cam Ward was just on one. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this game. This was one that I had to put on. That defense did not help him at all. But man, this game was never in doubt. I know it says 38-35. This game wasn't. Washington State kept scoring. Oregon sputtered at the beginning. DJ Uyunglele just lost the matchup. I mean, you have to go toe to toe, shot for shot with a guy like Cam Ward in this explosive offense, and he just couldn't do it. And that's a limitation of DJ Uyunglele. But again, it's props to Cam Ward because you come from Incarnate Ward school that's NAIA maybe FCS. I don't know exactly what they are. And step up to a Power 5 team. Yeah, it's the Pac-12. It's a Power 5 team. And last year showed some flashes. This year took a huge step up. Um, this, this is a first round quarterback in my opinion. 6'3", 215 pounds, can run, can throw from all arm slots, has velocity. He's showing good decision making right now, good accuracy. That's the guy. Oklahoma goes to Cincinnati, and again, this one wasn't close. Cincinnati could not get anything going. Emory Jones struggled. Dylan Gabriel is Dylan Gabriel. He just looks okay in that offense. I think there are a lot of other quarterbacks in the country that could run this Oklahoma offense a lot better than Dylan Gabriel. North Carolina 41 to Pittsburgh's 24. I actually forgot this game was on, to be honest with you. So I didn't watch it. Only person I really was looking forward to watching in this game would be Drake May. They also got that linebacker Cedric Gray, I think is his name. That's another guy I would want to watch, but I forgot to watch it. So sorry about that. This Duke game again. Riley Leonard's just efficient with his passing. He didn't play the whole game. He's just efficient with his passing. Really good decision maker. Uh, Again, I don't have him as a first round guy yet. I gotta go do a deeper dive. But every time I just watch him play, he just has the poise that you're looking for. Um, where this is a top 100 pick at quarterback, I think, if he comes out this year. I don't know. I don't know what year he is, but I think that's a top 100 pick. If just coming off the top of my head right now, Miami versus Temple. I don't know why Miami played at Temple, but um, again, this is a Temple team that has really no one. I see Anderson Jr. caught 10 catches for 117 yards. E.J. Warner, who's Kurt Warner's son, 240 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. But I mean, that's just this can't, Miami defense is good. Looks like the offense is still doing well. I don't know if this is based off of um, what's the kid's name? Van Dyke. Sorry, my mind is kind of somewhere else right now. I apologize about that. Yeah, Van Dyke again is a playmaker, and he's showing out. I really like this Miami team, and I want to be able to sit down next week and just watch their game only, and not have multiple TVs on, so I can actually give more of an in-depth analysis. So we got Tennessee going up against UTSA, bounce back game. This is a good UTSA team. Oh my goodness. Frank Harris at quarterback. I really like him. But it's a bounce back game. UTSA really couldn't do anything in this game. Joe Milton doing what he has to do, but again, this is a Joe Milton who has all the tools, but I don't know. I'm trying to come up with an analogy, but I mean he's a very gifted kid. He just can't figure out a way to rein it in. He's a discount. That sounds rude. He's Anthony Richardson with less polish, is what I want to say. Which Anthony Richardson's very, very raw. He's an Anthony Richardson with less polish. That is what I would say about Joe Milton. And I'm rooting for the kid because he seems like a nice guy. And again, he is very, very talented. So let's get into some of these other games. Again, Georgia State versus Coastal Carolina. Grayson McCall losing another one. Again, this Georgia State team is very, very good. They got a bunch of transfers in, and Coastal Carolina did not. So this Pinckney guy at receiver, super talented, super tall kid too. I'm expecting him to be an NFL player. Wisconsin, Purdue, Wisconsin's running back duo. Prayers, oh my God, for Malusi. His knee got banged up pretty badly. I don't want to speculate what it is, but man, that's rough. But Braylon Allen looked good. Again, very physical running back. NC State versus Virginia. I never want to watch a Brendan Armstrong NC State game again, so I did not touch that game. Boise State, San Diego State. Didn't watch that either. Air Force. Nope. We already talked about that. Oh, there we go. UCF versus Kansas State. This was a top 25 matchup, in my opinion, on my rankings. And it went the way I thought it was going to go. Back and forth, back and forth. The game stayed close at halftime. Again, DJ Giddens is a very, very good running back. 30 carries for 207 yards. Trayshawn Ward is good as well for Kansas State, but both those Kansas State backs proved to be too much. Will Howard just had to kind of be methodical, passing the ball and everything like that, but just let the ground game go to work. UCF tried their hardest. RJ Harvey, their running back, did a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but their offensive line and defensive line just weren't up to the task of this. Again, it's their first year in the Big 12. They just weren't up to the task for it. And again, you're in here with Timmy McClain at quarterback, your backup quarterback, who he played okay. He didn't play great, but he did not. I don't think he necessarily himself lost you that game. So I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. I was thinking 31-37, something like that. 31-44 with a garbage time touchdown. So we talked about that game. We talked about this game. This is the part where I just kind of scroll until I see something interesting. So if you're going to log off, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Army Syracuse, I don't watch any Syracuse games anymore, even though they are 4-0. Maybe I need to check back in with them. But ever since Gadsden, or Rondé Gadsden the second, went out for the year. Auburn, Texas A&M. Texas A&M, their quarterback, Connor Wegman, went down with an injury. Max Johnson came in and performed very, very well. So good for him. Auburn is still, I think they're rebuilding. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for that one. Troy, Western Kentucky. This Troy running back, I say it every single time I see Troy on here. Troy's a good team. This running back, Vidal, is an NFL back. 27 for 156 and 2 touchdowns. I know it was Western Kentucky. Calm down. But this dude is good. I'm telling you, Vidal, this dude is good. It's like Kenji Vidal. What's his name? It is Kimani Vidal. Devin Leary does not look good for Kentucky. They go on to beat Vanderbilt. Again, Vanderbilt. But Devin Leary just doesn't look good. I don't understand. I don't know if it's because he doesn't really have anyone that he's passing to, if the offensive line's bad, if the scheme's confusing. But he was a Heisman dark horse, first round thought of quarterback, first round sleeper at North Carolina State. And now all of a sudden he's at Kentucky. And I think he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns so far this year. So I don't really understand it. Marshall, Rasheen Ali. That's a good running back right there. Again, he's a smaller running back, but he's a very, very talented running back. I think he's like sub 190 though. But that's a guy I'd like to give a chance. TCU goes on to beat SMU. Tulsa, Toledo, Georgia Southern, Illinois, Maryland. Oh, versus Michigan State. Nathaniel Carter, my boy from UConn at Michigan State, almost goes for 100 yards in the loss. I feel for him. I think he's draft eligible. He's not going to go to the draft, but if I'm him, I'm leaving that Michigan State program in a hurry. Boston College, interesting. Louisville, Boston College. I didn't watch this game. Dang it, stop. This Jahar Jordan at running back, I'm going to have to take a look at. BYU's Caden Slovis is, again, another guy who's just, give it up, pal. Give it up. Kansas with another win, 4-0 with their quarterback back. This is huge for them. And let's end it here. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go ahead and end it here. I don't really see anyone else that I am and really wanted to talk about. No. Oh, no, I don't have anyone else. Oh, shout out to Robert Morris for getting another victory. Robert Morris, I got a friend who is coaching there. He's assistant offensive line coach, and they've got a dude. Again, he is draft eligible, but he's not going to come out. He's a redshirt sophomore. I think he might just transfer after this year. Uh, Noah Robinson is his name. He's a wide receiver. He's 6'3", 205 pounds ish, 205, 210. He is very shifty, and he's a playmaker with a ball in his hands. They finally got him going, and they've won 2 games. They ended up losing a tough game. One, the first week they got dominated by Air Force, but that's because Air Force is a very quality team compared to them. And then they lost another one to St. Francis, which St. Francis is a very good team, top 25 FCS team, I believe. So good for them. They're doing things. I'm going to have to talk in depth about Noah Robinson one of these days after a couple more games of tape get put on. But if you guys like this, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like. Sorry I ramble a little bit and I don't remember names every once in a while. It's been a long day. But think Thursday or tomorrow, but I'm thinking Thursday. We'll say Thursday. We'll talk about the football games that happened this last weekend for NFL. Dolphins dropped 70. Didn't go after the points record. I'm not mad, but I'm a little salty about it. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.